let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Assume that you are, and this is playful, audience. Assume that you are a visitor from the future of humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're in this compassionate economy where economics is working for everybody, food and well-being is working for everybody in healthcare. Everybody is not in utopia, but everybody is kind of thriving in this compassionate economy. So you're a visitor on the future, and you kind of come back to today, and you're sat down in front of the most powerful governments and the most wealthy people in the world. What would you say to them?
It'd be interesting, you'd have to give a council of people like that. I mean, it's not much different than it's scientists from our world presenting the president or many other leaders. Heck, with Trump, most leaders have met this coronavirus with a certain amount of hubris. It's not going to do my country. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. And we've seen that the disease likes hubris. It likes to take on hubris. So until you have a really interested, willing party that wants to learn, that is open, and they're really open, like, what are you doing in the future that works so well? But they have to come from a place of like needing it, wanting it. So I think that's where we are as a collective humanity, that this virus is going to take enough of us down this road and say, when do you as a society say, we want something different, and we're ready to listen, and we're ready to actually roll that out? And that's a very unique position, because most people are very resistant to change as change is going along.
Why do you think that is? Why are we resistant to change?
Change can be awfully painful. And I think it's a totally natural human response to this three-dimensional reality that, you're not going to survive in terms of this body. It's a fairly fragile environment, pretty dangerous, really, to try to insulate themselves from pain, insulate themselves from certain truths, so that they, and alcohol does that, and television does that. And, we've given ourselves over to, advertising and big messages, political messages and whatnot. I think what's really happening right now is that this is the empowerment of the individual, is what we're seeing. It's each individual is discovering in their quiet time by themselves, or on the front line, or in their starvation, or in their misery and in a ventilator, they're discovering their own individual power, that it really is only about, for each person, it really is just simply their life. And so how do we take all of those individual people living lives and bind them together in a certain way that gives them enough trust to create something together, but still gives them the individual freedom of being a human being? I think that's the big question.
Yeah, and we're looking at attractor states now, aren't we? So is a natural binding of the individuality to support a common goal of no pollution in the air, or everybody gets healthcare, or whatever that may be, right?
So if what I would tell this council of people that have asked me to come from the future, and they're saying they need help, I would say, align your economic system with the cycles of life. Get rid of your Gregorian calendar, start using the lunar calendar. I would say
that might be a good start, right?
Yeah, right. No, this is what you study when you come into the School of Compassionate Economics, called 5 ACEs. And so if your economic system is built on the same blueprint that the earth has, then you're in harmony with it. And if you build structures of moving wealth and resources around that don't end up cycling, where one thing, like, you think about it, 3 people in this country have the same amount of wealth as several hundred million people, right? And so that's like a cyst growing over. That's like a tumor growing in the body, right? that so the economic system that I'm talking about building would not allow for that to happen. It wouldn't prevent somebody from holding a lot of wealth, but it wouldn't, the system, it wouldn't like try to keep them from happening. It just would naturally happen differently.
Mm.
And the people that had the money would be honored as money makers and movers of money rather than the rich and famous. I've made it. No, that's not it. You didn't make it any more than anybody else in the world made it. What you did was, when the money came to you, you held on to it and started making up fantasies about colonizing other planets rather than taking care of your own people. That is called hubris. And this disease, this pandemic that we're in, is teaching us that every single life counts.
That we can build. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.